Hey guys, came for 15, Talk Sports back at it with another video for you guys. Joined by my Uncle Darrell. And I guess you can say this is kind of like postpartum, post show, whatever. I already did my post game and gave my thoughts on it. Obviously it was a little bit more heated at that point in time, but I'm kind of cooled off. But then again, it's like the wee hours of the morning, and I couldn't sleep because this game obviously freaking upset me that much. But again, I oh boy. Now when you look at the situation that is the Chicago Bears and where they're currently at, now you got Tampa Bay, who had a pretty impressive win on the road against Minnesota. And even though they have Baker Mayfield, now you look at that game and you're like, okay, this could actually be a problem now, especially seeing what we saw in this past game with the Packers. We potentially could be on the verge of going 0-3 to start the season off.
Um, I know you done had your period
Yeah.
to uh, to get your thoughts out and rant and things of that nature. Just allow me a little latitude. Um, this was one of the most atrocious starts to a season that I have ever witnessed by the Chicago Bears. It is very rare that we get the Packers the first game. And I don't know what it is about the Packers, man. For whatever reason, they just don't live up to the hype when it comes to playing this team. And that dates back years on end. But it was a total team failure from Coach Eberflus all the way down to the practice squad. Nobody was ready for this game. The defense was vanilla. I'm screaming and hollering at Tremaine Edmonds. Why in the hell are you 8 yards off the line of scrimmage? All they're going to do is run right up the middle. And guess where they run, Cameron?
The middle.
Right up the middle. Did you all have a defensive tackle over the center? No. So guess where they're going to run? Right up the middle. And that center runs dead for Tremaine Edmonds, who's 8 yards up the field. I mean, we turn the ball over, have an opportunity to get the ball back, 3rd and 8. Jalen Johnson, 10 yards off of Romeo Doubs. And what does Romeo Doubs do? He just comes off the line of scrimmage, quickle it out, get the ball first down. And Jalen Johnson didn't even have an opportunity to touch him. And that's when I texted you. I was like, that was really lazy. And you agreed.
Yeah.
And then that same drive, Romeo Doubs, they play in cover 2 on the 7-8 yard line, middle wide open. And I'm a novice. I'm a basketball coach. You do more coaching football than I do. I'm sorry. But when you're in a cover 2, you're in a cover 2. The middle is basically wide open anyway.
Yep.
Alan Williams, why are you in that defense to begin with? And that's all Dobbs did was a quick out. Eddie Jackson looked like he didn't know what defense they were in because he couldn't even cover him coming across. I mean,
I said on my post game show, like, is this zone defense like for the secondary? Is the zone defense this complex? Because they have multiple breakdowns.
Oh my goodness gracious!
Like, are they telling these guys like, "Hey, you got to be in this zone and you got to be in this zone"? Is it that complex? Because hell, even when I coach, we run a zone defense. It isn't that complex to run. Like zone
It
defense,
really isn't that complex.
but every time I turn
I
around,
mean, you got a guy that's going to do a 5-yard arc right across the middle. I mean, linebackers was out of position throughout the entire game. Defensive line, and now I'm sitting over here like, you guys released Travis Gibson, and I'm wondering what the hell you do that for? You had nobody that could get to the quarterback. Yeah, okay, all right. How many sacks did the Bears have?
one.
One. And I think that might have been in the second quarter.
No, that was
Ngakwe.
yeah, Ngakwe. And that was a coverage.
Ngakwe.
That was a coverage sack.
Coverage sack. And all he did was bull rush the entire time. They had no one to speed rush. They didn't run any doggone stunts up the middle. They didn't do anything that was innovative to get to that quarterback. And Jordan Love is just sitting back there counting his blessings, Jack.
Yeah.
He even lost the ball on a couple of snaps and still had the wherewithal to grab the ball, go through his progressions, and make a throw. One of those throws was to a rookie tight end who was all by himself. It was just bad all the way around. Luke Getsy called plays like he didn't put, I'm expecting him to call plays similar to how they call plays for Fields at the end of last year. Get this guy on the move, put him in space. But no, he dropping back, 5-7 step drops. And I mean, he's not a pocket passer, guys.
And even if
let's be honest,
even if you want him to throw the ball, with the fact that the offensive line is seemingly enough, it looks like it's exactly the same issue
as last year.
Where's the 3-step drop routes? Where's the slant? We run one slant in the game that was to DJ Moore, one of his 2 targets he got. That
just 2. And I get Jair Alexander is on him. That's why you have to run certain things with him to get him in space. Because if he's going to go vertical, Jair got him. I'm sorry, Jair is one of the best corners in the league. Y'all may not like him. And yeah, he can be really annoying. But Jair is one of the best CBs in the league. You got to do certain things with Moore to get Jair off of him. Run him out the backfield. Run him in the slot. I don't care. Run him as a tight end if you feel the necessary need to.
Hell, they were Getsy was calling screen passes all game. Where was the screen pass for DJ Moore?
No, I think he had one.
No, he didn't have one. It was only either.
He didn't have one? It was just a quick out.
Yeah, are the running backs.
He came in motion, and Jair, I'm assuming they must have been in the zone because Jair didn't come with him. Yeah. I'm sorry, man. It was just piss poor all the way around. I can't honestly say that there was one area that the Bears were good at. I can't even say anything about special teams. It was just
complete embarrassment.
Yeah. First game of the year, Packers, after all these doggone tools that Poles got you, these 3 guys, Eberflus, Getsy, and Williams, they coaching like they don't know what to do with them. And Williams' defense was just vanilla. I mean, I don't know what the hell he was running. It was just straight up preseason defense, and Jordan Love picked it apart.
Yeah. I don't know where this team goes now, because you walk into the Tampa Bay game and Todd Bowles. We saw it 2 years ago when Matt Nagy was the coach. Todd Bowles, when he was the DC against with Tampa Bay 2 years ago, when it was Justin Fields' first season, the number one thing Todd Bowles did is he just sent heavy-ass blitzing.
Yeah.
I would envision he's going to look at the film from this game and he's like, what's the point in sitting back in coverage? Even though we want to make Justin Fields a passer, we'll just go man across the board and we'll just blow that entire offensive line up.
Yeah. And even Fields, I'm probably have to look a little bit more closer to see what was open.
Yeah. I know, for example, the pick 6 he threw, when they showed the field view from his perspective, you had freaking DJ Moore running a corner route. The safety wasn't going to get there, and the corner was still playing the flats area. I said, just trust your number one receiver. Go throw it to him. But you force it to Darnell Mooney. Pick. And again, maybe you got to see the all-22 to see if he's still holding on the ball too long. Again, like I said, to counteract that, start the game off with play-action passing, freaking 3-step drops, where it's either a slant, hitch, out routes to your receivers. Get him comfortable. That's what they did with Jordan Love the entire game.
Yep.
But no, for some odd reason, Getsy does not. And I said this in my recap. I don't know if the play calling is to the point where they're play calling like as if they don't trust Justin Fields to put the ball in his hands and they feel comfortable with him throwing. And I said, well, if that's the case, why did you not just use that first round draft pick, either drafted Stroud or freaking Bryce Young, if you don't trust Justin Fields to throw the damn football across the field? And
And even then, on Justin Fields' side, dude, it's like with Cutler and Brandon Marshall. I mean, it's like he got a love affair with Mooney. I'm like, dude, Mooney ain't open all the damn time. Look for other people. I mean, Commit was open on us. Man, it was maybe two that I can remember in which Commit was open between the numbers. But yeah, he ball with Mooney. I'm like, y'all know what polls want, and I know I'm going a little bit deeper here. Poles is trying to win the Super Bowl before he has to give Fields a contract. And
gets to that point.
If it gets to that point, that's correct. And I'm pretty sure Poles came in, and I'm thinking like maybe Poles is not sold on Justin Fields. But he's going to be like, okay, we're going to give this kid a chance. We're going to give him a chance. Everyone's sitting over talking about Mahomes in his third year, Jalen Hurts in his third year, Allen for Buffalo in his third year. All the strides that they made from number 2 to number 3. Looking for Justin Fields to do the same thing. He got the weapons, and let's just say he got the weapons. He got them, but for some strange reason, it just didn't connect. And he dropping Fields back, trying to, I guess, he just like a drop back passer. Let's come on now. The kid is not a drop back passer. Not yet. You got to be able to get this guy in space. You got to be able to move that defense around and run misdirections with this kid. You can't just put him in the pocket and expect the magic to happen.
Yeah, they didn't even run read option. No read option.
None. Maybe one time with Foreman.
Yeah,
that I can recall. But other than that, it was all vanilla. Even offensively, it was all vanilla. Off tackle left, off tackle right. They didn't win at the line of scrimmage.
Oh, no. Clearly not.
I mean, Braxton Jones. Oh my goodness gracious. Oh my goodness gracious.
Yeah, call for a false start, 2 holdings.
Yep. And let's admit, he got blown up a couple of times. I want to say it was 91. You know, whoever the right tackle was even worse.
Y'all know, right?
Well, he's a rookie. And here it is. You're going to have a lot of these folks. Oh, let's be patient. Man, come on, man. You honestly think Poles is trying to show patience? He ain't trying to show patience. He don't want to give Fields $40 million. So he's going to be like, if I'm going to give his cat $40 million, a Super Bowl need to come with it.
Yeah, I think we can all agree that clearly this coaching staff was ill-prepared going into this game. Again, I don't know. You have so many weeks throughout training camp, throughout preseason to prepare for this game. And the fact that you had this team come out ill-prepared, unready to play, and not motivated to play against your team. That's why I said in our prediction video, like, I didn't like the way the Bears players, just because Aaron Rodgers was gone, they were talking a bunch of stuff, and they were like, oh, yeah, we'll get him. Justin Jones, he was talking about, Packer fans and how, I guess, stupid they can be. Yes, he to an extent he has a point because sometimes Packer fans they do believe their own stupid hype, but the thing is, you got to back that up. Justin Jones didn't do anything. Zero tackles, zero pressures. So how the hell are you going to say, "Oh, Packer fans don't know their football"? And guess what? You did nothing, virtually nothing. Jaquan Brisker, I love him. You said you were hyped for this game and everything. You barely did anything in this game either.
I mean, a rookie tight end was just rookie tight end was all over him.
Yeah,
Just and you know, I love Jaquan Brisker too. But I'm sitting over here like, man, if you're gonna talk the talk, walk the walk. But at the same time, though, everything that defense was supposed to do
they didn't.
should have started with the front four.
Yeah, and again, that goes to this coaching staff not making the necessary adjustments. And this is the contrast between the Bears and the Packers. One, obviously the talent gap is like, especially in the trenches, is infinitely better compared. But even then, regardless, the Bears should still have a chance. It was 10-6, right? You go into halftime. You would think the Bears make adjustments. All right, maybe we need to start running the ball a little bit more and then getting the ball down the field a lot more for the Bears. Simple as that. Let's open the playbook more. Maybe have, 3-step drops, plays. Get the ball in your hands, Justin. Slants, hitches, outs. Don't do that. Let's continue running freaking screen passes. Not like the defense is not going to see that coming. Okay,
Correct.
let's keep doing that. Defensively, our front four can't get any pressure whatsoever.
None.
Let's not send, we're not going to send any blitzes. We're not going to send Tremaine Edmonds on a blitz. We're not going to send Jack Sanborn on a blitz. We're not going to freaking send TJ Edwards on a blitz because we don't trust our secondary, even though it's one of the best parts of our freaking defense. We're not going to put them in man coverage. And plus, that goes against our philosophy. We don't like to play man defense. We like to play zone defense. Well, here's the problem. The Eberflus scheme, the cover two scheme as a whole, that stuff only works is if you get consistent pressure with your front
On the
four.
quarterback. That's correct.
If you're not getting pressure, your cover two defense, your zone
Is
defense, regardless, is going to get picked
garbage.
apart.
Because all they got to wait is for a receiver to be released by the corners and linebackers. It just depends on how far they're back or how close they're up. The wide receiver can just make a move to either come in front of the linebacker crew or behind. I mean, it was just
And see,
I saw them blitz one time in the first quarter.
yeah,
And that was when Brisker came up from his safety spot and he blitzed. And that's where I believe it was Stevenson who blew up Reed on that quick on that, I think it was wide receiver screen that they ran.
mm-hmm.
It was just, I don't understand why you couldn't man up on these receivers. They were down 2 up.
It's like they're afraid to play man. I don't know. And that might be an Allen Williams thing. We weren't high on Allen Williams after last season. I'm sure as hell not high on him now.
I gotta admit, after the day, I'm not. I
So
mean, that defense was completely, and I've said it time and time again throughout this conversation, vanilla. There was nothing innovative about it whatsoever. It was strictly vanilla.
yeah.
I mean, just they started what 2 rookies in their pass catching group,
yeah,
and those 2 rookies played well.
yeah.
Now their offensive line is experienced laden, but I mean, come on, man, goodness gracious alive, man.
Like
They dominated y'all. And now we're probably gonna have to hear all of this ownership talk again, eventually.
yeah.
Man.
I don't know. Like I don't know. See, this is the thing. Eberflus at some point he can't be because in his press conference, it honest to God, it sounded like the regurgitation of Matt Nagy stuff. I got to look at the tape. I got to do this. I got listen, dude. If your defensive coordinator and your offensive coordinator ain't doing their jobs, well, you need to man the hell up. And again, we don't know what they say behind closed doors. You know,
We don't.
so maybe he is saying, Allen, you better get your shit together. Otherwise, I will take control. Which, honestly, at this point, if he and I said in my post game press conference, if this thing continues, honestly, you might as well just fire him because
Well,
eventually,
I'll put it to you like this. Let me put it to you like this. A sign that a coordinator is in trouble is when the coach take your responsibilities.
yep,
When the coach takes your responsibility. But more so than that, that's also a sign that the coach knows his job is in trouble.
yep,
And I'm saying, and me personally, I said it, and I'm just, yeah, I wanted Brian Dabble. I wanted him bad because he was an offensive guy who can do something with this freaking nature quarterback we got. And we went defense again with the head coach. And then the head coach brought in his defensive coordinator. He brought in a defensive guy from the team he was on
yep.
to be decent defensive coordinator. And there's nothing that has been shown from that relationship between Eberflus and Williams.
Yeah.
Absolutely nothing.
At some point, the defense is going to get better. I don't know if Eberflus and Allen Williams are splitting duties on calling the defense, but if it's just straight up Allen Williams, and the defense still looks the way it is, man, Eberflus, you're the head coach. Either you tell Allen Williams, hey, dude, I'm seeing something different than you're seeing. You might want to start calling this. Otherwise, you're the head coach. You're the defensive guy. You take the defensive play calling responsibilities away from Allen Williams and say, you know what, dude, you're not completely capable of running the defense. I'm going to start calling the defense again, like I used to in Indy. Offensively, the only thing you can tell freaking Luke Getzey offensively is like, you go up to Poles off and he's like, go get like some sort of offensive consultant to help this guy out because clearly Luke Getzey's play calling as if and the bad part is like Bear fans were afraid that this guy might be let go, but this guy's play calling as if he has no clue what he's doing. Like literally, he makes no adjustments after halftime. He completely does the same thing. And funny enough, like one of the last few plays of the game, he runs another screen, which makes Darnell Mooney get hurt and he's limping off the field. And I'm like, really? And then you have Justin Fields in his press conference saying, like, yeah, the game plan today was throwing the ball more horizontally than laterally. And I'm just like, that's the game plan. There's no other offensive coaches in the meeting. Eberflus should be in those meetings too. Eberflus is like, or is any of the other coaches, any of the other players, Eberflus, are they mentioning like, Luke, what is the backup plan if screen game doesn't work?
Or even better yet, you can still do your screen game as long as there's a lot of motion. There isn't really much motion.
Well, there was a lot of motion.
Well, I mean, I saw motion from the Packers defense. I didn't see much motion from the Bears offense.
I saw
I
motion,
mean,
and they got
there was one.
false starts a few times because.
Oh well, yeah. I mean, that's tight ends, linebackers. I mean, linemen, things of that nature. I'm just basically talking about motion from the wide receivers, the running backs. There was one. The Packers saw motion. We talked about it. Packers saw motion, and the player just immediately jumped in the air to tip the ball, going to Claypool, and they knew it.
Yeah, because they ran it like freaking 6, 4, 5 times at that point in the game, and it's like it's predictable play calling.
And even if he had caught it, my opinion is he gonna get tackled right there.
Yeah, because you have no blockers.
Yeah, one blocker in front of him, but you had two defenders coming diagonally right towards him. It was a blessing that the guy tipped it and Claypool couldn't catch it. He wasn't going anyway.
Which also says it's a screen game. If you're gonna run the screen, you gotta have guys get blocked. Like there was one screen, Darnell Mooney caught it. Claypool didn't even make an effort to block that.
And I don't know about you. You'll tell me different. I didn't see them push the ball down the field, with the exception of one time they had a holding call, and they pushed the ball down the field.
Yeah,
I mean,
also the one touchdown.
Well, yeah, to Mooney.
Yeah, but no, I didn't see that because
much pushing the ball down the field. I mean, oh my goodness gracious, Jack.
Yeah.
Keep this up. They definitely last place in the division again.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
I thought they'd be better than I thought, but clearly not. And again, when you look at the schedule, the Bears it could get ugly real, real fast. And I don't
Especially now when it comes across that the Bears can't stop the run.
yeah.
Offense can't block.
So
Defense is just not aggressive at all.
yeah. And then, when the Bears get down, they just mail it in and they just give up. Like Greg
Yeah.
Olson was even calling them out like, the hell are these guys doing? These guys are just like giving up now. They're not gonna like fight back, at least give
But
some
see, when you got that problem right there, to me, that is
it's
a
coaching.
sign that the players just don't trust their coaches.
And this was the thing about
That's
when
a lack of
Eberflus.
trust.
That was the thing. This was the thing when Eberflus came in about this hits principle. The players will only believe this hits principle so as long as obviously you're winning. If you're losing the majority of games and you're getting blown out, eventually players are gonna be like, "The hell is this hits principle? Who goes by this? This
Yeah.
isn't like that. Sounds like a high school or college philosophy that he's teaching these guys." And again,
Correct.
it's funny when he talks about the his principles, but next thing you know, I'm looking at a guy like Nate Davis who didn't have a good game yesterday. Shocker, because he wasn't practicing because he was taken out for personal reasons, but he can still attend the practices. Lo and behold, I don't know whatever personal reasons it might be serious. But if it's a personal reason, I don't think you should be at the practice. If you're at the practice, get your pads on, get your helmet on. I don't care if you have
And if it's a personal reason where you miss a considerable amount of practice, then I'm sorry. Me personally, I know I'm not going to play.
yeah. Like, are
That's
you
just,
holding him accountable? No.
I mean, how can you honestly play people that are not available during practices? I don't play them. You know, they got personal problems. Hey, you go ahead. You make sure you take care of your personal problem.
Yeah, go home and handle that.
That's
I
right.
need to see
Handle.
a video of you at the practice hugging Eberflus, saying, oh, yeah, you
Yeah,
clearly didn't get any practice reps. There's
I
no
hugged him.
continuity.
Yeah. I'm like,
It's the same.
man, come on. Uh-uh. I,
So,
I personally just, no. You don't practice, you don't play. And I think that's the thing. Take care of your personal problems. We will be there for you if you need us. I say, but if you're going to be here, you are going to practice.
and he's one of the guys that got paid a lot of money to come here
Yep.
and fix the offensive line issue.
Yep.
So it's no wonder why he sucked in a game setting because, hey, he's not practicing in a game setting. And, this translates back to the preseason. I didn't like when they didn't play the Stars didn't play the Indianapolis game against the Colts for some odd reason. I don't know why they did that. They just felt like we had good joint practice. It's fine. And then they come out in preseason week 3 and they had an atrocious performance against the Bills. And it's like, okay. And then you come out here 2 weeks later and you have another atrocious performance again.
Yeah.
So at some point, the coaches are going to their game plans for the week. They're not having these players prepared to win, are prepared to play at all. They're not willing to make adjustments when necessary. It's like with this coaching staff, they're even slightly more inept. I want to say slightly more inept, but they're close to the ineptness of Matt Nagy and his staff, where it's like, oh, hey, Jilly, it's not working. Let's keep doing it. It's got to work at some point. They don't make adjustments, and I don't know what's the thing. And you brought up the point that they win another defense. I tracked this back in my game week. I'm like, remember when we had Lovie Smith? We got rid of Lovie Smith, right? We hired Mark Trestman, an offensive guy. When that failed, we went back to a defensive setting. John Fox. Oh, that failed. Let's go to an offensive guy. Oh, wait, that failed. Back to defense. And mind you, again, I said in my post-game recap, the Eberflus hiring it was like one of those quick hires. We hired Poles, and then boom, Eberflus was right then and there, like the next week. And I'm like, and I remember going back, I'm like, Poles never even got a chance to even look out for his guy. So the question could be is Eberflus really Poles' guy? Because I'm just gonna throw that out there because again, if this doesn't get better, if Justin Fields doesn't look good as the season progresses, you're gonna have to go into next year's draft drafting another quarterback. Whether it's Drake May, Caleb Williams, or Shador Sanders, the way this team's playing, you'll probably have a top 3 pick. And you've got to also hope the Panthers play so bad enough. At least you have maybe back-to-back picks at 2 and 3 potentially if you're that bad.
And my thing is, I'm sorry, is I keep going back to Mark Trestman, how laid back he was, how soft spoken he was. He wasn't one of those rah, 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 fiery type guys. And it don't look like Eberflus is either.
Heck, you can make the case. After Trestman, most of the coaches, Fox, Nagy, they were laid back dudes.
Yeah, it's time to leave that laid back dude alone and go get that really high intense
They won't
coach.
do that because McCaskies don't like beating around the bushes. They don't like, for example, the Dan Campbell type of coaches that's willing to tell the McCaskies, no, we're going to do this, we're going to do this, we're going to do this, and I need you to do this for me. You haven't had a coach like that since Ditka.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Anyway, it looks like we on limited time. So you want to go to a prediction for week 2?
Um, I, I don't know.
Where's the game at anyway?
It's in Tampa,
Mm-mm.
and then after that game, they got to go to Arrowhead. So that's why this game against the Packers, not only from the standpoint, it was a must win from terms of changing the tides, changing the guard. It was a must win because you could set yourself up in actually good position for the season. Even if you start the season off 1-2, you're still in a solid position. Now you have the chance to go 0-3 now. And who the hell knows what happens?
And here it is. You got, first 2 games against quarterbacks who are replacements.
Yeah. And the thing is, too, this time Baker Mayfield, he got the weapons.
And they both replacing Hall of Fame quarterbacks.
Yep. Only difference is Jordan Love, he has barely any weapons. This time,
Yes.
going to this week, Baker Mayfield's got weapons. He got
And
Chris
it don't
Godwin.
bode well. Right. It don't bode well because they got that crew over there that Brady had, that Brady basically won a Super Bowl with.
And if you go back and watch the game, there was a critical 3rd and 10 where the Vikings stopped and they could get off the field, get the ball back. Baker Mayfield threw it to Chris Godwin, came down with the catch. Game over.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, if we can't stop literal like 2s and 3 receivers, holy hell. Mike Evans and Chris Godwin are going to have a field day on this Bears defense.
And Mike Evans is in the contract year. Basically. He didn't shut down talk for the rest of the year, but still in the contract year.
If I'm the Bears, this is the game plan. If you're going to step back and pass, you got to get the ball out fast. Get the ball out. It's just got to be 3-step drops. If you need to run. If you want to run screens, fine, run them. But run them every now and then. Catch them by surprise. You can't do it 4, 5, 6 times, every single drive. Because eventually the Bucs defense will be like, okay, so they're just running screens. We'll sell on the screen pass, and we won't have to worry about anything. We won't have to worry about anything down the field because they're not going to even push us. See, and this is the mindset of Luke Getsy. How are you going to make these screens work if you're not going to push the ball downfield? I would like to see the Bears commit a little bit to the run more, maybe run to the outside, see if that works better than running up the middle, because clearly your guards and your center can't block throughout the inside and get any push. Play action pass. We barely saw play action pass in the game. Just do anything that will get the ball out of Justin Fields' hands faster before he's going to get hit. Because I'll tell you this, I can already see it my prediction is Buccaneers, they're just going to bring everything. They're going to bring their backers. They're going to bring their linemen. Who knows? And then defensively, bring more blitzes, play more man coverage. I know you're playing against Chris Godwin and Mike Evans, but if you're going to get torched playing man defense instead of sitting back in a zone, a soft zone defense, and you're
with
giving
no
them
pass rush. And
like
for
I
that,
see that.
for and that reason alone, I'm gonna pick Tampa Bay.
Yeah,
I
you can. You
can't.
have to.
I can't. I can't. If you can't get the Baker Mayfield, if you can't make him sweat in the pocket, then he gonna do the same thing Jordan Love did.
Yep. And it's going to be no contest. So it honestly could be a rinse and repeat of what we saw 2 years ago. But the only difference is the quarterback at the time was Tom Brady.
Yeah.
And shockingly enough, I was looking at this game and was like, oh, this could be a Justin Fields revenge game. Get back for what happened 2 years ago. Probably not, but it's okay. The Bears are probably going to do what they did this game, not make any adjustments by halftime. And then once they go into the freaking post-game press conference, they're going to say, well, it was very hot out there, very humid, a hot day.
Mm,
It is what it is. And then
yeah.
they're going to go into Kansas City, probably get blown up by Kansas City. Like, well, that's a very good team. They won the Super Bowl last year.
Yeah.
Enough with the excuses. Either show up to play or otherwise, polls, please show these guys out the door. Plain and simple.
And honestly, if this keeps up for the rest of the football season, I can see Poles getting rid of it.
Honestly,
And I mean,
if
and
this
I
isn't
mean,
getting better, polls might have to make the decision. I definitely see Kevin Warren, the president of the Bears, be like, get this guy out of here. Go
yeah,
hire
get
your
him
own.
out, get out, get him out.
Because
Was
you're not
it Poles who hired Eberflus?
technically it's under his regime. Yes. Poles got hired first, and then Eberflus got hired. But I have a feeling it was more than I feel like Eberflus is more McCaskey hired than Poles because Poles got hired, Eberflus got hired a week later. Barely had any time to hire his own guy and do his actual search. So I think the McCaskey's already set on Eberflus, and Poles just had to go down with it. But we're pretty much out of time.
Yep.
I got to get ready for work anyway. So
Yeah, me too.
if you guys like the video, leave a like. We'll be back for NFL Week 1 recap and Week 2 predictions. But till then, guys, stay safe out there. Have a great rest of your day. Peace.